If you are a frequent listener to the podcast, you know that we have been sponsored by Fuji Sports for quite some time now. Whether you're looking for apparel, equipment, bags, or accessories, Fuji Sports has got it covered. Go to fujisports.com to see the latest selection of everything you need for your jiu-jitsu, judo, or MMA journey. That's fujisports.com. Let me take a minute to tell you about RŌL TV. If you're looking to take your jiu-jitsu to the next level and supplement your BJJ education, then RŌL TV has you covered. RŌLAcademy.tv has over 1,500 videos covering individual techniques, positions, and concepts, including seminars and workshops with top-level competitors and instructors like Chris Wojcik, Robert Drysdale, Aaron Hurley, Emily Kwok, and more. Whether you are a beginner or a more advanced student, RŌL TV is the online platform that can take your jiu-jitsu to the next level. What's up, everyone, and welcome back. If you haven't already, please hit the like, share, subscribe, download, listen, and whatever other button there is, and leave us a review wherever you do listen. This makes sure that we can continue bringing you the amazing content and guests that you've come to expect. On this episode, Chris Burns returns to share his insights on happiness, authenticity, and the complexities of life's choices. He discusses the essence of jiu-jitsu, its evolution into a sport, and the importance of preserving the original art of Gracie Jiu Jitsu. With brutal honesty and a great sense of humor, Chris emphasizes the significance of simplicity in martial arts and the value of living life on one's own terms. Here's the RŌL Radio with a second-degree black belt under Jason Roebig and Rickson Gracie, Chris Burns.
Welcome to RŌL Radio.
And we are live. Chris, welcome back.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Best dad ever. Last time, I love that mug, by the way. That's
Thank you.
That's awesome. Last time, I don't know if you recall, but like you woke up, I think at 4 a.m. to do a conversation with me.
Who would have thought I did that again?
And
You have a toddler. You'll wake up at 4.
Yeah, you kind of do, right? You don't have a choice, right?
No.
How is life?
None whatsoever.
Last time
Life
I
is
talked to
amazing.
you moved into the area, a new house. Like if things were kind of, not established yet. It's been a while, and are things better or?
No, things have been unestablished for 40 years. I just exist and just deal with it.
You're finally acknowledging that, huh?
God, yeah, full zen in the art of motorcycle maintenance. Literally living by the ocean. I can see the ocean. I can see my academy, so I'm happy. I
like you less and less. Like why? Why you have to point that out?
How dare you be fucking happy, dick? It's almost like I've been really working hard towards being happy. Weird. I'm sorry.
Listen, you might when we were messaging, I mentioned that you are one of the more listened episode that I've done on the podcast, and I just looked before we got online. You're number 6, so you climbing up there. You're pissing a lot of people off on your way up. I mean, that's I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but listen, as I'm watching you online, you have a very unique perspective on all of this. Is this intentional, or is this just how Chris is?
It's all a brand. I created a character to get more likes on Instagram, for fuck's sake.
Well, you're doing a very damn good job.
Thank you. I'm trying so fucking hard. I had a student come in the other day, and he was like, I was talking to some people, and they're like, is he really like that? Is that caustic internet personality? And he was like, no, he's caustic. I was like, I haven't heard that word in a while. I guess that sums me up pretty well. Like recalcitrant and caustic. I like to think I'm a nice person. Whatever. No, I'm not trying for shit. And if people are happy about it, I guess that's why they're happy about it, because I'm not trying to get their dollar or attention. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It feels creepy to be anything other than me. And I guess that is okay for some people and pisses other people off. And I'm all right with that.
Well, isn't that what life is all about? I mean, at some point we got to do what we got to do, and those who enjoy what we do will follow, and those who don't, I mean, at that point, I mean, 'cause that's kind of on them, isn't it?
Sure. I have no idea what life is all about. This is a fucking shit show. I got no idea. I'm just trying not to die. Trying to be a good person every day. That's it. Other
Is
than
that
that,
so?
I'm not going to pretend to know shit.
So let me ask you flat out. What is a good person to you? What are you trying to achieve?
Oh, what am I trying to achieve?
Yeah.
If I make it as like base as possible, like just don't be a cunt. It's not that hard, just try and be a good person that helps other people. I'm not trying to achieve that. That's just what I'm doing. I don't want to be a dick. I don't want to hurt anybody, but also, you ever seen that show, The Good Place?
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal show. So I can't balance it out. I'm just trying not to be a cunt. That's it.
But why is it so? Okay, so let me ask you flat out. Why is it so hard for other people? Why is this so? Why is everybody freaking fighting all around?
I don't know. It's a very stressful environment, this world. We created a social contract that kind of put us in this little lane where we have to function, where I've got to put on shoes and a shirt to go to the 7-Eleven. Not here, by the way. I live in paradise. You could just, no shoes, no shirt. It's the best. Australia's awesome. You just wander around eating lobsters for breakfast. Like, no one's going to shoot you for no fucking reason. I love this place. But, yeah, I don't know. I think we managed to put an immense amount of stress on ourselves and create these fictional goals that seem to push us in directions where we don't feel right. And when we don't feel right, we act weird. And then we get all angry. And then it's somebody else's problem that I'm a dick. Like, you pissed me off, so I'm angry at you. It's weird. Like, I'm the last person to ask about this kind of stuff. You feel free to ask me how to do a Kimura, but don't ask me life advice. Like, it's taken 40-something years not to be thoroughly depressed all the time.
Listen,
so,
you got this cool mug, so you're doing something. I mean, that's
how
I
look at it. Ever. Yeah, that's all I fucking needed. My wife got it for me. She was like, "Here you go. Try not to fuck up." I was like, "Oh, thanks." So I got it on
that's
the mug.
That's a high bar to set.
Fuck.
What happened to your hand? What happened to your hand?
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, just rolling around. So I'm not in charge of anybody else's shenanigans. So if you zig and I zag and you land on my thumb and wrist improperly, I have to now wear tape for a couple days. So nothing huge, just shit happens. That's all.
So why do you think this is so complicated? Like, in a sense of, I'm referring to jiu-jitsu. You've been you've had no. We already established there was no hope there. So
no hope. No hope. It's just ennui every day. Let's get read a book by the ocean.
Why do you? And again, I like you less and less. Why you have to bring the ocean up every single sentence?
Well, it's not my fault you chose to live where. Where the fuck are you?
You know what's the temperature here right now? It's freaking below freezing. It's freaking ridiculous. It's snowed last night. The first thing this morning I got up, I had to shovel my driveway. Mm-hmm.
That's some stoic shit right there.
No kidding.
You know what I had to do? I had to put on a pair of pants to go to my academy by the ocean. Lucky I put pants on. No, man, I love the snow. I love it. I was living in Arizona for a chunk, and the snow would fall, and I'd have a fireplace. Man, every version of life is beautiful if you let it be beautiful. I just like the ocean more than I like the desert. That's all. Because I love being in the ocean. It feels right. If I'm separated from the ocean, I have this constant yearning to be back at it. Because I'm old now. I don't ignore those feelings. Because I used to be like, no, I could survive in the desert. I'll do this and that. And they're like, yeah, okay, you can. But you could also be surfing, and you could just chill out and watch the sunset over the ocean if you just get on that plane and move there. So I made a choice.
Why do you think not everybody does that? Why? I feel like you are an exception to some of those perceptions of life, and like you did move because you wanted to. You live where you live. You do jiu-jitsu. You love it, and you express it the way how you express it. How come not everybody else? Why this is so complicated for everybody?
Fear of failure. I think once you failed enough and you sorry, I can see out my window and my son is just naked and he's just standing on a chair looking over the balcony, and it's adorable. Sorry, I had to have a wish I could turn the camera right now. It's adorable. Fear of failure, I guess. I think when you fail enough and you realize that when you if you can't fail any fucking more, what do you got to lose? So it gives a shit. Who are you going to upset? You've already lost all friends. You already lost all hope. You already lost this. Fuck it. Move to the beach. Do what you wanted to do to begin with. So what's the worst that'll happen? You live at the beach. I don't know, get a job. Work at a 7-Eleven. You can pay the rent. I don't know. Hey, buddy, I love you. Hi. No, I have absolutely no idea why people don't just do what they want to do. But I'm assuming mostly like commitments. You know, like I got a lot of friends that had a lot of sex in high school, and now they have like 3 kids that they weren't planning on, and now they got a job, and they live in a town they didn't want to live in, and there's a certain poetry to that. You know, it doesn't mean that life's not beautiful. Like, I guarantee there's a part of them that's happy about what they're doing, but there's also that part that wishes, like, fuck, I wish I hadn't done that, you know? But now they get to have 3 cool kids. Who knows? Everyone's different. I just chose to do what I do, and one day I'll be dead. So, fuck it.
Well, that's this one certain thing in life that it will expire at some
Maybe,
point.
you
right?
don't know. I might fucking live forever.
Oh, you have a grand plan, don't you?
The fuck I do. I should be dead by now.
I don't know. I don't know. You falling apart with rolling with white belts. Your hand is taped up. I don't know.
Oh god, that was a brown belt. Thank you. That's nature's white belt. No, that's jujitsu's white belt. Like, I know what I'm doing. Crack. I put my trust in you. I would trust a brown belt.
So bringing all this together. I mean, you've been teaching for a while now. You love teaching. It's pretty obvious, and you do have a unique approach to all of this. And I feel like every time I see you from the online videos, there is a certain level of simplicity that you're trying to project to jiu-jitsu. And
that's what jiu-jitsu is supposed to be. Simple as fuck. It was supposed to be efficient. It was supposed to be simple. It wasn't supposed to be needlessly complicated. It's become a whole completely different thing. It's a different thing, and if you want to take the name, you can have the name. Jiu-jitsu is all yours. I don't want to do jiu-jitsu anymore. I want to do the most simple and effective thing while staying safe. That's it.
So why do you think that so many people don't look at it that way?
Because it's become a fun, cool game, and that fun, cool game has parameters, and when you have parameters, you get to be creative. Like one of the cool things that I did when I was back in art school, I was a professor in a fucking university for a while teaching art, and one of the cool tricks that we had was if an artist was really good within this field, we take that field away. You know, like we give them a box, and they're only allowed to work within this box with these parameters, and they got more creative. And it got really interesting. And I think that's what the sport of jiu-jitsu has become. In a more offensive term, nature abhors a vacuum. So, like, there's this empty space of, like, I can't grab the leg for the takedown. Well, now I got to be creative with the kazushi. You know, like, you start creating these new things. And I think it's a beautiful, let's say it's like a lab where you're experimenting with all kinds of cool shit, right? That doesn't mean you cured fucking cancer on that move. Just means you experimented to try and cure cancer. Mm-hmm. Some of it's fucking used. 90% of it's fucking useless when you give it context. Like if you say they're gonna put a thumb in your eye, you know, they're gonna put a thumb in your ass. They're gonna headbutt you. Like all of a sudden the cool shit's gone, man. And it's like the best argument on that one as well. By the way, is that when I have a student that's new with me and we're sparring, and I'm like, yeah, you can get kicked in the face. He's like, if you kick me, we're gonna fight. I was like, that's kind of the point.
The
you
point,
fucking idiot.
Isn't that what we're trying to do? Yeah.
I thought that's what we were doing. Like, yeah, but if you start fighting, we'll start fighting. I'm like, what? No, okay. So I think that's what got lost along the way, and it became this weird McDojo thing because the people that were teaching the stuff that you were supposed to know really didn't pay attention to that stuff. They got excited about doing the new cool things, and they thought that they were experimenting and curing fucking cancer. What they did was they neglected how to get out of a headlock properly. You know, if you have to pop an anacostal to pick me up to fucking throw me, that's the literal opposite of jiu-jitsu. You know, like it's supposed to be efficient and effortless. It's in the fucking title, gentle art. I'm going to use you against you, not wrestle fuck. I've said that a few times and it seems to be clicking for some people. So the kanji doesn't mean wrestle fuck. It means gentle art. So if you know what the kanji is, that symbol that some schools still have, but they don't wear gis. It's really weird. Like, no gi for the future. I'm going to wear a gi forever just out of spite. And I teach nothing but no gi in a gi. Fuck you. Sorry, I'm allergic to jiu-jitsu. I just think it's it gets needlessly complicated because we've given it parameters. You have a time limit now, and you have to achieve this many points within the time limit, and you can collect advantages, and you can do this, this, and this, and then you can slap your chest and praise God that you're a fucking champion of this imaginary game. Awesome, dude. You're an athlete, and that's fucking great to have goals in life. That's not my goal, and I don't have to be like you. So that's what I hate about jiu-jitsu now, is that you're made to feel ashamed for wanting to learn how to defend yourself with a very simple and effective martial art. They know it's McDojo shit. Nobody does that. Who's going to put you in a schoolyard headlock these days? That's old school. Nobody does that. What the fuck? What world is this? This is fucking weird. So every fight that I've ever been in, I have ended up with like somebody grabbing my shirt and balling it up and holding it in my face. And then the internet will be like, that never happened in a fight. I'm like, what the fuck? It literally happened in a fight. So I'm just whining and yelling into the void right now while my family's being cute.
So for the sake of this conversation, let me challenge this for a second. Many would say that without that sport factor that you're describing just now, without these rules, the advantages and time limits and all that stuff, jiu-jitsu wouldn't be where it is today. I mean, the population wouldn't know what jiu-jitsu is. It would be you and I and maybe two other dudes somewhere around the world training it, and it wouldn't have the reach, the popularity. They wouldn't have the exposure. As a result of it, likelihood of us doing what we love, we wouldn't be able to do it simply because nobody would be learning it. So, what's your answer to that?
There's no answer. It's a catch-22.
It is.
If the Misfits didn't have a really cool logo and start doing tours, nobody would know who they are.
Absolutely.
And then dancing wouldn't happen. Same thing with Black Flag. Like, I enjoy, the band Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lee Ving, like the old school band. Like, how many other people know the band Fear? Fucking nobody, but Fear's still there, and Fear is awesome. Yeah. I love those albums. So, if you want to be well-known and you want to be able to give to the community, give to the community. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's a different art as far as I'm concerned. I want to give to the community a different art. It's the same thing, but it's different. Right? And there's nothing wrong with the sport. The sport's cool and it's introducing people to things. But if we don't give it some kind of different parameters and start to talk about striking a little bit more, it just kind of goes the way of the ghost. I just don't want to see Gracie Jiu Jitsu, like as its original intention, disappear. That's all. I don't think that it diminishes the fact that there's other versions of Jiu Jitsu. Because I'm going to pronounce it wrong because I'm really white. Ryu. Yeah, so different schools have different texts and different ways of teaching. You go to 10th Planet, they have their way of teaching their system. I have my way of teaching my system. I like teaching my version of jiu-jitsu, which is not mine to begin with. It's Gracie Jiu Jitsu as refined by my instructor. I try and teach what I know the best that I can under context. And if anybody has a sport question, I answer the sport question.
Chris, do you feel like you're on a mission in a sense without people like you, this self-defense approach, the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, the original, the roots of all of this would disappear, or it's on the way to disappear?
I think so. I don't think I'm on a mission so much as it's just what I'm doing. It's not like I chose this and this is all I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I don't know. I might make burgers next year down by the beach. I want to do what makes me happy. What makes me happy is having like a 56-year-old soccer mom all of a sudden learn that she has this term invisible power, right? I feel like the term's been kind of thrown around. People don't really understand what it is. It's like a catchphrase now. If you can replace strength with weight distribution and connection, all of a sudden you have this power that you didn't know that you had. You don't have to be faster. You don't have to be stronger. You don't have to be flexible. You have to understand basic connection and principles of jiu-jitsu, not just moves. That's a thing that gets lost as well, is that people are just kind of collecting moves and putting moves in a bag. And then they're going to the gym at 5 a.m. and fucking doing hardcore workouts to be able to do these moves against a resisting opponent. That's not jiu-jitsu in my eyes. In my eyes, jiu-jitsu is me defending myself and you handing me submissions by accident, handing me sweeps, handing me throws. Maybe if I give you a gentle push in a direction and you push back, I can take that throw. As opposed to, I'm going to fucking hit this. I'm working on this week. Because that's what it's become. It's become like the new football. It's like, I'm fucking doing this. I'm not shitting off it. Now I got football players that hate me. The idea is that I don't have to be bigger, stronger, and faster to achieve these goals. And that's what shit me about the first decade of jiu-jitsu for me, because I just fell right into the sport. Like I jumped on the mat and it's like, you're learning the world's best self-defense. Fucking was I? No, I didn't learn anything about self-defense to save my life. I learned how to suffer well, because it's like that, you ever heard that thing, like you throw 10 babies in a pool, like 8 of them drown, 2 of them are Olympic swimmers.
Oh, well, no, I have not.
Yeah, that's a good one. So that's kind of the shit show that I came from, was like, if you were willing to suffer, you kind of got good at it by default. I don't want that for everybody. I want you to be able to walk off the street, stay safe, and not injure yourself constantly because you're just, I don't know, fuck around, find out training. You know, lay there and don't let him move. Okay. Oh, God, that hurt. I'm not coming back. Or fuck it, I'll stay. I'll be an Olympic swimmer. Fuck that. Dude, I want somebody who is genuinely curious about this art, the art itself, not the sport. And I want to help them. So I've got a lot of instructors and athletes that have come to me in the past year that they've gone like, oh, it's completely different. Can I join the club? And then they're off teaching these concepts with their classes. And that's cool. So I don't know. I feel like I went off topic like I usually do. There's a lot of ADHD happening.
Well, it's good to listen. It's good to listen to what's happening in your head, because there is a lot of wisdom in there, isn't there?
It's fucking not. It's like that song from The Simpsons. No, okay.
But
so
listen,
the original question, am I trying to preserve an art? Yes, I am. I think that Gracie Jiu Jitsu was a list of the most effective things taken from every martial art and refined to a fucking fine, sharp edge. And then everyone went off and played the fun game for a very long time, and we got very popular. And then Joe Rogan was like, you got to do this. And everyone's like, fucking Joe said, we're doing it, we're doing it. And we all jumped on, we're all having a blast. But this one little chunk over here, you still have guys to this day that are like, man, Hicks is just different. It's just so, it feels so different. Like, yeah, you've got that one little chunk. And then you've got another side of them that are going like, if he was competing these days, the purple belts would tap him out, bro. It's evolved. Fuck, dude.
I've seen that view.
Yeah, holy shit. First off, I'm not speaking for him in any way, shape, or form. Like, I'm speaking for me and my passion towards Gracie Jiu Jitsu and his refinement of Gracie Jiu Jitsu. I've always cared more about, how do I defend myself? How do I stand back up? How do I not get punched? How can I submit you easiest? As opposed to, how do I get that medal that I paid for? That's what I care about, and that's what I want to share. I want to share the lost version of the art.
Do you feel that you have a responsibility of pass on some of the knowledge, particularly from Rickson, but also from just Gracie family? Do you feel responsible for this, in the sense of, if you don't do it, nobody else will?
Maybe. I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that love this and are very passionate about it, and they teach it in their own ways, and they're preserving it in their own ways, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't feel like everything's on my shoulders.
So let me rephrase this. Let me rephrase this, right? I mean, Rickson is in his 60s. There is no secret behind all of this that all Gracies will expire at some point. We all will, besides you, because, I mean, you're bulletproof. We know that, but
I don't know, dude. That Gracie diet keeps you going for a long time.
But we all know that we have expiration. Oh, my camera.
Oh,
there he is. There he is.
You want to say goodbye to the internet?
Bye.
Bye.
I love you. I'm teaching him how to knife fight.
There you go.
Forget Gracie Jiu Jitsu. He's doing Kali. Go, go, go.
I see the beach.
You see the beach? That's because we live on the beach.
Yeah, there you go. And rubbing it again.
Can you close the door, baby? I love you. Sorry, man.
Now I got 2 generations rubbing the beach in. Oh, there you go. Look at that. But listen, so there's no secret that, I mean, Rickson is in his 60s. At some point he will expire. At some point all Gracies will expire. At some point, if nobody is carrying the torch, it will be forgotten. It will just disappear in some sense, right? So you have direct connection to him and a lot of that wisdom that is associated with this. And you are one of the handful guys who presents this the way how it's being presented by you. So the question is, do you feel responsible if you don't do it, nobody else will?
Yeah, there's a straight up yes.
Yeah.
So I was being very, very diplomatic that there's a
Yeah.
lot of us doing it because there is a lot of us doing it, man, and we're doing it in our own ways. But what gets lost in translation about Gracie Jiu Jitsu, especially Rickson Gracie Jiu Jitsu, I fucking
Yes.
hate saying that I'm doing it because that's a heavy burden, and I'm not going to be the one wearing
Why?
it.
Why is the heavy burden? Why
Because
are you avoiding that?
his jiu-jitsu is his jiu-jitsu. What he's taught me is his principles, right?
Okay.
I want to do exactly what Rickson does. I love what Rickson does, period. I don't need to do my version of Rickson. If I accidentally lean left and create something new and it works better than what he showed me, it's my responsibility to do that. So to give a wonderful story, he was telling me about how his father created this. His father and his brothers, they collected the best possible moves. Did you know that the pesao is from capoeira? Do you know what a pesao is?
No, I
So
don't.
yeah, fuck. So yeah, this I gotta save it. Fuck it, I have to save this art. So the idea of instead of doing a side kick, it's a stomp to the knee. The pesao, there's a whole bunch of shit about this that nobody gives a shit about because they're slapping hands, they're bumping fists, and they're like doing upside down cool fucking shit because it's cool. It's cool fucking shit, and you're allowed to have fun. So don't get mad at me and say that like I'm saying you don't do it. Like I don't do it. I don't have to be you, and you don't have to be me, and we can still go out for a burger later. It's all good.
At the beach.
This is all good, man. We can have cheeseburgers in paradise, Jimmy Buffett style with me. It's all good. You can have your sport, man. I'm not shitting on it. I don't have to like it. But the pesao, let's say that was a very effective move from a martial art. It's an exceedingly effective move from a martial art. When Rickson was doing the elbow escape from underneath the mount, he found that it was very hard to do the elbow escape when somebody was pinching their knees. And if a 12-year-old girl can't do it, why would I bother teaching it? So he started doing what was called a hip escape. And the hip escape, well, he called it an elbow escape. We had to give it another name. If I have a Ryu or Ryu, I need to give things names so that you know what I'm talking about when I teach a class. It's the ham sandwich to the Taraka Plata to the fucking dead orchard. It works. It fucking works, dude. The students are like, oh, hip escape, got it. Taraka Plata, got it. So he started doing this. And he showed his dad. And his dad was like, holy shit, thank you so much for refining this art and making it even more efficient. That's my goal. My goal is not to just have this textbook and slap it on the mat and be like, you're doing this week, otherwise you're not Gracie Jiu Jitsu. No, dude, if you come in and we're doing head and arm escape, and I show the escape, and then you say, like, oh, well, we do head and arm this way, and I try and do the escape the proper way, and it doesn't work. Guess how we're doing the head and arm now? The way that killed me. That's what Gracie Jiu Jitsu is. It's the best of the best of the best, refined. If there's a better way to get out of the headlock, show me. Fucking show me, please. Schoolyard headlock, my head is pulled down. You're not punching me. You're going to ram my head into the brick wall. What's the best way out? If you got another answer, tell me, man. I would love to learn it. I think that's where this comes from. So when I say, or when you say, like, you don't want to wear that burden, like, no, because Rickson's Jiu Jitsu is Rickson's Jiu Jitsu. Rickson's taught me his concepts and Gracie Jiu Jitsu that, like, because I'm anal as fuck. Like, I wanted to do all of Elio's book from day one. I want to do all of the SDU. I wanted to do all of the things and be taught by hand how to teach it, what can go wrong, what are the deficits, how do you add resistance and stress to teaching self-defense. Not just here's a dance move. Oh, you've done it? Cool, we're doing Spider Guard this week. I fucking hate that so much, man. You go into an academy and their warm-up is to do like one shitty rep of a headlock escape, and then all of a sudden we're doing open guard triangles from lapella palata. Fuck, man. That's confusing for someone like me. Because when I came in off the streets, I wanted to learn how to defend myself, and all of a sudden I'm doing lasso guard. What happens if he's not wearing a jacket? What happens if he punches you? Don't worry, mate. It's illegal. The fuck? I'm sorry. I think that there should be a delineation, and the downside of the delineation is that the self-defense route, most people don't know enough about that syllabus or have ever decided to add on to that syllabus to actually teach it. They're just showing what they thought they were supposed to show out of respect to someone else. I think that version of the art needs to stay alive. The other version can evolve like a motherfucker. Go get weird with it, man. If you've got like a what is it? What's that fucking thing where it's not an
Funnel?
octagon anymore? They got, what is it? What's it called?
Funnel? I don't know.
No, like the place where they fight now and they got edges and Craig Jones is doing it.
Oh, yeah. Shit. I don't know where I know what you're
I don't
talking
know,
about. You're talking about
that's fucking
CGI.
cool.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah! Now we get to work with weird angles and shit. I love it. I can't wait until the day they throw a pipe in there. Like one of them's allowed to scramble and grab the pipe and just hit the other one in the fucking head. Like get weird with it, man.
You mean like
get
Gladiator
fucking wild.
style? You're like
Fuck
Gladiator.
yeah, I'll watch the shit out of that. I'll watch Calico Stoica. I'll watch that. I'm not watching EBI. I'm not watching IFBJJ.
Put a
Look at it.
tiger in there. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it, yeah. So if you're gonna do
but
it,
look,
do it.
so
Go
Chris,
all
look,
out.
why? Like, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Like, why is this so freaking complicated, and why nobody else sees it that way? Either you are like on a mission, or I don't know, you are weird. I don't know, but like maybe a combination of both. I don't know, but like, why is this so complicated? Why we are so why we gravitate so much to this fancy things, this inverting stuff and flying things? Like why so many students wants to do flying things and nobody knows how to escape from the bottom?
You ever see that movie Falling Down?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you rather be that character or would you rather be John Wick? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the guy who's broken and sad? Fuck. Like doing what he has to do. You know, like that's not what a cheeseburger looks like. Versus you're going to fucking do gun fu. The cool shit is always going to be the cool shit, man. I always wanted to be a Ninja Turtle. Fuck, dude. Am I going to be a Ninja Turtle? No.
But look, that brings us to the very important point of people want to be stimulated. People want to be entertained. Yeah. And if you have a brand new student coming into an academy that does all flying things and all crazy things, they are likely to actually gravitate towards there versus doing, 700 headleg escapes. I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong whatsoever. And that just comes down to the human fucking predicament of being an idiot from birth. So
this is why I love conversation with you. Like there is no fuck you around here. Like you just say as is. I love it.
You're born fucking stupid. It's your job to get smarter. It's not my job to make you smart. If I tell you the pan is hot, you shouldn't touch the hot pan. Don't touch the fucking hot pan. If you feel like touching the hot pan 20 times, you're the dumb one. Cool. Like, don't put your fucking nose before your toes until I tell you to do it. Cool. Help yourself. I had a student, man. And because when I teach white to blue, when I teach the basic fundamentals of shit, you don't put your nose before your toes. Because guess what? You're not passing guard. Like, you're not doing the sport of jiu-jitsu. When you're doing the sport of jiu-jitsu, you will put your nose before your hypothetical toes. When I am talking about takedowns, you do not overdo something. You do not underdo something. You find the middle, and the person gives it to you. And I remember him complaining, like, oh, put my fucking nose before my toes. Whining and complaining. Like, fuck off over there. It's okay to go over there and have fun, man. I didn't tell you to not have fun. I'm giving you context and I'm giving you parameters. Once you understand the parameters, then you can be an artist. And you go crazy. But if you want to walk in and you see the coolest fucking thing in the world and you're a fucking 50-year-old father of two and you decide that you're going to do a flying goddamn triangle and you break your neck, is that my fault? It's not my fault because I know how I run my school. I run my school like an actual martial arts academy. It's not just, it's not a sport. You don't come in, do your stretches and have a roll and then drink kombucha. Sorry. You're going to take your shoes off. You bow when you walk on the mat. You're wearing a white fucking gi. Sorry. Like, this is the worst because I want to represent this as best I can, but I also swear like a fucking sailor and I'm covered in tattoos.
I was about to say, like, there's a discrepancy here.
I'm well aware. But I'm also well aware of my personality. And Musashi was a cunt as well. So, yeah, he was unshaven, long hair, horn on his head and shit. But no, he was still a martial artist. My personality is my personality, but I do represent something greater than me and an art that I am genuinely passionate about. So I also believe that when you come onto the mat, you should be an empty vessel and you should be willing to learn. You are a blank white gi wearing slate. I'm going to teach you how to use the gi for connection principles, not how to do a lapella palata from lasso guard. That's not the reason we're wearing a gi. So that's also a thing that gets lost into the ether of the game of telephone. Like, no gi's the wave of the future. Yeah, because everyone was doing stupid gi shit in sport. That's the only reason people want to do no gi now, is because they're tired of people grabbing lapels and wrapping lapels around a worm guard. That's it. Now they're like back to no gi, which is exactly what we were doing while wearing a gi. The whole purpose of wearing the gi, what happens if I get into a fight and I'm wearing a hoodie? Somebody grabs the back of the hood, pulls it down over my head, and hockey punches the shit out of my face in front of North Point Mall. Man, I want to know how to deal with that stuff. I don't want to know how to win a competition. If you want to know how to win a competition, go to a competition school that teaches it well. There are a bunch of schools that are really good at teaching how to win that game, and I love it. I don't want to be that school. I don't have to be that school. I think there's something to be said for keeping specific traditions alive and explaining why they're traditions. And it's okay to evolve from them. I want you to wear a white gi so I can see who's bleeding. That's a thing. I want you to wear a white gi so I can see if your gi is dirty. Yeah, it's not all about blank slates, metaphor shit. Like, I want you to wear white because I want you to wear white. Please and thank you. If your knees are dirty, maybe go put on a clean gi, please. You get what I mean? Maybe there's a little bit of blood on the collar. Maybe I should watch out for you and see if you're bleeding on somebody. Maybe you got staph. I don't know. We got to watch out. So, I don't know. I feel like I went off topic as usual.
No.
We got a little bit into something.
I'm thinking about all of this because, I mean, we both know that there is a resistance against all of this. There is, listen, people are going to listen to this and there's going to be comments up to wazoo about just the white geese alone.
Because I read the comments.
Well, I don't, I'm with you on that part. But
don't read the comments.
What I'm going with this is there is this, I feel like that every time there is a conversation about keeping a tradition and embracing what we've done in the past or our previous generations have done in the past, there is always someone arguing, well, that's not evolution. This is not how we get better. This is not how we continue this thing, right? So, like, white gi is a big part of this. A lot of people fight that.
Yeah. Well, okay. There's a bunch of different reasons for the white gi. Mine is mostly because of this. That was it. So for real, mine was like, we do no gi, and if I'm coming in, I'm going to wear an orange NASA gi. So that's how I weed out people that are unwilling to be a part of this. If I put that like straight line in the sand, like if you're going to come in wearing a NASA gi, you're not going to respect this process whatsoever. I've asked you politely to wear a white gi.
So what you're saying, this is essentially like a wax on, wax off in a Karate Kid. Like, I need you to do this. If you don't do this, I already know that you're not mentally prepared for this experience.
That's a much more polite way of saying what I said when I said fuck off.
I'm translating. I'm translating here.
I would have gone with this and leave.
You gotta watch this on YouTube, by the way. There is a visual representation of course.
It's a broken finger that doesn't really straighten anymore, and it's in the air. Sorry. Like, if you're not willing to abide by the requests of your host, you shouldn't be a guest. So again, I'm the worst possible fucking avatar for Gracie Jiu Jitsu. I get it. I know the irony that's happening right here. I live with it. I got a lot of friends that are very, very high level echelon guys in Gracie Jiu Jitsu, and they do not conduct themselves like me. The problem is I am me, and I genuinely care about the art. So sometimes you have to deal with the fact that the guy with tattoos cares about it more than the guy who's clean cut and has no stage presence. So right now, people
do you have stage presence?
I think I'm okay. I think I'm pretty sure stage presence can be replaced with nihilism. What was it? How come most people aren't willing to drop everything and move to the other side of the world?
I don't know. You tell me.
Nihilism. Fuck it. Let's find out. So, like, how come you're willing to swear on the mats? Like, dude, some of my best friends swear like sailors on the mats, and they're literal OG Dirty Dozen. Your personality is your personality. What I think gets misconstrued is that you're supposed to be this linear character in a box. Like, no, this is how we represent this. No, that's how you want it represented. Unfortunately, my passion shines through. So we're going to have to deal with the person in order to get to the passion. So if I swear too much for your liking, go 5 doors down. There's a guy that doesn't swear, and he says dipsy doodle instead of cunt. Okay? It's just a word. In my world, words have power, and that power is the power that you give to them. It's not my fault you decided that word hurts your feelings.
Do you feel that that personality that you are describing actually gives you the attention that you need in order for you to preserve some of those principles that you talk about, pass the torch and continue this on? I mean, look, if everybody's wearing white, nobody's standing out. If everybody's now nice, nobody's standing out. If nobody's cursing, nobody's standing out. Do you think that that's one of the tools that you have to
It's less about
actually
standing
project
out.
this?
Yeah, no, well, I don't have any tools. I am a fucking tool. It's oh god, this is a train
Man, you
wreck.
just keep coming from all angles, huh?
I'm in therapy. What? I can hate parts of me and like other parts. So, like I'm every single person is growing and changing exponentially. Like there's no version of me that was this version 7 years ago. So if I change and I decide I'm going to stop swearing because my son is running around yelling cunt in preschool, maybe I'll change my shit for me and nobody else. I know that about me. If you tell me to do something 9 times out of 10, I'm probably not doing it. If you can prove I should do it for a reason and I can put it through my stupid little brain and go, oh, he's probably right, and I can think for myself regarding this matter, I might take that on board. That's what I want from a student. I want a student. I've got one student right now who questions every single thing that I do. And when I look over at the crowd of guys that I'm teaching, he's always like, thinking about it. That's the student that I want. That's the passion project on my side. That's me thinking like, okay, I can really mold this one and refine that. This one right here is going to end up thinking for themselves about a lot of things, and they're going to touch a lot of hot pans, but they're going to be super creative about it as well. So every student's different. I want you wearing a white gi for hygiene, for uniformity, and for politeness. That's it. I asked you to. Is that okay? Can you take your shoes off when you come in my house, please? Everybody takes their shoes off when they walk on the mats, don't they? Yeah? It's the same goddamn thing. If I want to add on to it and say, no, it's tradition because I respect my instructor and that's his tradition. I don't have to know why he does that. I respect him enough to abide by that. This is how I tie my belt. This is how I wear my gi. I keep my shit clean. I don't want you to get staph. I also respect that guy for giving his entire life to an art.
I feel like that might be the big part of the problem in today's world is what you're describing is, I don't have to understand why my instructor asked me to do this. He just does, and I simply follow because I have respect for him.
Yeah, but most instructors are fucking idiots. So that's the problem. You got a guy in a garage teaching how to bend a thing the wrong way, and all of a sudden that's your instructor. There's a difference. And also, I don't look at instructors as somebody like he's going to fix my... I don't go to Rickson and ask him, how do you do your taxes? Dude, like, no, I don't need you to tell me how to run my life. I'm not asking you to be a father figure, to be any of those things, like be a psychologist. Because unfortunately, when you're on the mats, you have this secondary father figure thing going by accident. Someone always asks you, like, hey, I got women troubles. Would you help me? Like, fucking no. Find a professional. Not good at that. I'm going to show you what I know to the best of my knowledge on this subject. There's no reason you should be asking me how I fucking plant my begonias. Like, no. Like, you do your own research on that one. My begonias are lovely.
What makes a good instructor?
Passion?
You just said most of the instructors are just dipshits. So what makes a good one?
I think personally, I think an instructor, there could be a good instructor for anything, but actually caring about what they're doing is the most important part. Period. If you don't care about what you're doing.
So let me pivot off of that. I want to make sure that we're clear on this. If I don't know what I'm doing, but I care about what I'm doing, that makes me good?
No, not in the least. I think the most important part is caring about what you're doing. Now, being a good instructor, underneath all of that, what are you instructing and how well do you know it? And then on top of that, on top, is can you explain it simply? Yeah. If you have to be overly complicated in an explanation, what is it? I think it was Einstein that said if you can't explain it to a child, you don't understand it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I quoted that correctly. Ha, smart. If you can't do that, you're a pain in my ass. If I have to decipher your fucking riddles to do something, I'm not learning at a good rate for me. But then again, maybe there's some people that really wanted to do the Miyagi wax on, wax off thing. Like you drop here, you rotate here, you do this. Or if your feelings are the other way, you do this. I don't fucking know. You tell me what I'm supposed to do. I just did sailing lessons the other day, and the guy that was teaching was asking questions like, what are the 3 most important things to have on the boat? And I'm like, that's why I'm here. Why would you fucking ask me that? So there's different kinds of instructors and there's different ways of instructing. For me personally, I learn best with the term progressive learning. I want you to teach me a piece and then teach the next piece and then teach the next piece. I don't want you to teach me 3 pieces away from the start and expect me to understand those other 2. I want progressive learning. I would like you to clearly edify every step of the way. I want to feel it. I want to see it. I want to hear you talk about it. I want all 3 of those. If I didn't feel it and I'm one of the students on the wall that's kinesthetic, I didn't catch it. If I didn't hear it and I learned from listening, well, I didn't hear it. What did you say? And if I didn't see it because I was looking out the window, or maybe you were doing that weird thing where you're in a circle around the instructor and you're on the other side and he's doing the move over there, it's not my fault. I put everybody on a line. You're on a line. I know where my stage is. I know where my students are. You can see exactly what I want you to see. You can hear exactly what I fucking said. And then if you want to feel it, I literally say, okay, is there any questions? If you want to feel it, come over. I'll do it 2, 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Yep.
I think that's what you need for an instructor. You need physical, audible, and visual. And the guy or gal should be able to explain it progressively and let it make sense in the dumbest way possible. I don't have to use the word juxtaposition. We didn't have to use the word photosynthesis. I didn't have to pretend I was smart. You put arm there, bend now. Dumber the better.
So let me ask you this. We all trying to learn jiu-jitsu. We have people teaching jiu-jitsu, millions of them. Seems like everybody's teaching jiu-jitsu these days.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody's teaching how to teach.
Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they are. Gracie University teaches how to teach. I might not like the product, but I love how they present it. They're teaching how to teach.
Yeah,
If
but
you
even then, I'll argue that one because that's spit in a bucket. That's one. If we're talking about millions of people doing jiu-jitsu and there's millions of instructors out there, good or bad, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Say again? But there is no emphasis on how to be a good instructor. There was barely any conversations of how to be a good instructor, how to present things, how to be a good leader, how to articulate things, how to explain things in a simple way so we don't have to fly or invert or use. Why don't we just freaking use gravity as a tool? Why nobody does this?
You sound very passionate about this. I feel like maybe you should
get
do a
really
podcast.
pissed off where
that there's no good instructors. You sound so passionate about this one possible thing. I don't know why there's no good instructors. I think maybe because this is not a world-renowned thing. Also, this is a very small fishbowl. I've had a lot of judo instructors. I've had a lot of sambo instructors. I've had a lot of Kali instructors. Oh my God. Kali instructors are the fucking worst. Jesus Christ. I've had a lot of them. I've got a lot of them that are like my friends.
Pissed off a lot of people.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Dude, I've got a ton of Kali instructors are like my best fucking friends. I'm literally going to go and do a private lesson with one of my instructors this Friday. Most of the instructors that I'm with, like, this. Like, what? This. Can you do it in slow motion? Okay. This. Can you do it slower for the people in the back? So teaching and how you teach is an art, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter what the martial art is, because I could literally be teaching you how to play football. Like, you're going to have a good instructor. How does that instructor teach football? Maybe they've got their special ways and they're going to make a movie about it one day. Maybe this instructor has a special way of teaching you how to do the kimura, simply. If you want to be a good instructor, the only thing that I could recommend is what I did, because I feel like I'm a good instructor. Like, people walk away going like, oh, I get it. I've never had someone walk away from a class of mine like, still doesn't make any sense to me. No, I will stay an extra hour and make it make sense. That's just, it's in me. I can't help it. There's a lot of bad instructors just because nobody taught them how to be an instructor. And they're still passionate about showing what they love, you know? And you can't really fault that, but good luck. Good fucking luck, man.
But at the same time, look, if everybody has that attitude and they are not good instructor, they don't know how. It might not be their fault, but they are still teaching it because they have a lot of passion
Yeah.
all that just radiates and makes it bigger and bigger of this lower quality presentation, doesn't it?
Yes. I don't feel like there's an
shouldn't we put
argument
more
on this.
emphasis? Shouldn't we put
On
more
teaching?
emphasis
Yes.
on simply getting better as instructors?
Yes, yes, and yes. I didn't know that because I thought we were building towards something. Yeah, most instructors are shit, and I wish that they would start a program for teaching instructors how to teach. But okay, so here's a caveat on that. How are you going to teach an instructor how to teach something that they don't do? So imagine if you
Yeah.
had me and I have to teach the like I love specific weird cool moves that I used to do when I was doing the sport of jiu-jitsu. One of them is the Imanari roll. Like that's a fucking awesome move. Like what if I had to teach one of my instructors how to do the Imanari roll? Well, what happens if he doesn't want to do that? Maybe he doesn't feel comfortable teaching that whatsoever. Like I don't want to be the guy that's teaching you to teach something you don't want to teach. I think you should have a system in place of what should be taught, a syllabus per se, maybe a set list of moves that kind of go hand in hand together. Here's context, here's resolution, here's effectiveness, here's stress, one move. That's a thing. I think that's very important. And if you have a syllabus for your academy, your school, or your dojo, or whatever you want to call it, it's Joe's Crab Shack. Help yourself. Here's the menu. Here's what you have available at this place, and here's how we're going to prepare it. I think that's extremely efficient, almost like how jiu-jitsu should be. Efficient. I really respect the way that they did the combatives for Gracie University.
Mhm.
I like that. I genuinely like the fact that you come in, you have an hour class, you have a chunk of time here, chunk of time there, chunk of time with this. Beginning, middle, end. Answer, answer, answer. That's it. And if you go to the same place in Hawaii, they have the exact same burger, you know? You get the same menu. I think that's extremely efficient. But then you're going to have people that'll be like, well, that just gets rid of the creativity. Save the creativity for when you know how to use the tools to be creative. Maybe you should learn how to do a break fall. You should learn how to not hurt yourself. You shouldn't just be thrown into the deep end and said, don't drown. Olympic swim. Go. So there's a whole lot there to talk about, man. I don't want to waste the entire podcast on it. But yeah, I think there's a lot of shitty instructors because they were never taught how to instruct or what to instruct. But it doesn't mean that they're not passionate. And I think being passionate is the most important part. So you can fix the rest. Your passion, if it's not there and it's your like fucking day job, I just teach this class once a week, so I train here for free. Fuck. that's a bit shit. But then
Seen
again,
that
there's not a
before.
lot of there's a lot of instructors that are just kind of there to open the door, and now it's a free roll, and they're gonna roll with you to get ready for the comp. I think you have to go to a school and have a person that's actually dedicated to the art of the art of teaching it. I think
Where
you
do
and
we
I think you and I should start a school on how to teach. Let's do it. You and me. I believe in you. Let's do it. Teaching how to
You
teach.
you think we would work well together?
Look at us, synchronicity. I love it. We got this. We got this.
We got this, huh? There you go. I mean, you might
We
just
can fix
whoever's
all of the
listening to this,
jiu-jitsu
you
rules,
might be
bro.
just witness to something great just starting. We just happened. Boom.
We can pan back 10 years from now. The two of us are having an argument. Like, you're not passionate anymore. I don't care about you. You don't care about the art. You're inverted. It's a whole thing. This is the stupidest fucking thing. I swear to God, people have made this their entire lives. It's like, no, jiu-jitsu is the most important part of it's part of your life. Oh goodness. Go read a book. Go out to dinner with your family. Reconnect. You know? Have a conversation with your dad. It's been a while. Give him a call. Oh God. This fucking hobby of ours. It becomes a lifestyle easily.
Well, I was about to say, is it really a hobby or is it more than that?
I think it depends. For me, it's become a lifestyle, specifically because I'm always looking to be efficient and effective and balanced in everything now. So it's one of those principle-based things where I've had the good fortune of being around somebody who I respect quite a bit and who has not let me down in any way. So watching him conduct himself with dignity and honor has led to the fact that maybe I should conduct myself with a little bit more dignity and honor, he says while making dick jokes. I'm trying better as a person. I'm trying to be a good father. I'm trying to be a good teacher. I'm trying to be a good husband. I'm just trying to be better every day. I think that's the same thing in jiu-jitsu. You're trying to do better every class. You're not just going there and fucking, like whining and sitting on the wall. I hope not. Don't be that guy that just sits on the wall during rounds. You go out there and you suffer. Your job is to wake up in the morning, crack your back, and go, oh, this day might hurt, but I'm still going to do it. And I'm going to do the best I can. So I think it does become a lifestyle in its own way. But for me, it's I want to be as effective and efficient, and I don't know. I'll stick with effective and efficient. I'll just leave it in the jiu-jitsu realm, because outside of that, it's pure ennui.
What's the biggest lesson you learned from Rickson?
That's one that I don't just come throwing out of the gate, because I've learned so much, like physically and emotionally and mentally.
Is there a moment? Is there a moment? I mean, you've spent a lot of time with him. Do you even have like a gauge of the amount of hours that you spend with him?
No,
Like
Jack keeps track of the hours. I don't keep track of the fucking hours. Because he's very, very passionate about what he does, and if you're willing to put in the time and the effort, 1 hour private becomes like a 7-hour private. Like it depends on the person. It depends on the context. So it's like, you've done a couple of privates. Yeah, okay. I've spent quite a bit of an amount of time going over very specific things with him. Again, I never asked him for his worldly advice. I'm not that guy. I'm really awkward. Like for the first 3 years, I couldn't hug him properly. It was weird. He's like, hey, my brother, high five. We go to hug, and I'm like this awkward hugger. Like, I don't know how to do it.
Are you not a hugger?
No, I'm a hugger. It just feels weird because it's fucking Rickson. And I'm like, what do I do? It's Rickson. Because I don't know. It's like this, because I'm bad with, like, I don't do autographs. I don't do movie star. Like, I got a lot of movie star friends, and they're still retarded, But it's just that guy. I'm not dropping any fucking names. Fuck you. You're famous enough. I got a lot of movie star friends. Like, give a shit. You're still a retard. Yay. You're a retard with money. Over here, Rickson is Rickson. And it didn't click for the longest time. Like, that's something else. Like, that's not just the mere mortal man. Like, how do you hug this guy? It was just awkward.
What is it? What is it? I want to dig into this. What is it about Rickson that is so different?
So gravitas, man. So he's cool as shit, man. He's a regular guy. He's a genuinely sweet, kind, and caring guy, right? But when you first meet him, you're like, hang on, it's Rickson. Should I conduct myself in a different way? Because this is fucking Rickson Gracie. I've never felt like that. I've got a friend, and I won't drop his name, but he's famous in jiu-jitsu. And he's like, I'm like a schoolgirl every time I see him. And he's been in jiu-jitsu like forever. He freaks out when he sees Rickson every time. And they're friends. I don't know, man. It's strange because I genuinely like him as a person. That's important to me. If I don't like you as a person, you don't get a lot of my time, because my time is more important than this. I only have so much time in my life, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it next. Again, I might decide to move to Switzerland and start a burger stand. Who fucking knows? I get one life, to my knowledge. I'm going to get weird with it. If I'm going to give you my time and you are not respectful of my time, I don't have to deal with you. It doesn't matter how smart you are. There was one guy that I was working with, and he is unbelievably talented at his job, but he's a piece of shit as a person. I would rather not learn from him. He's very, very smart. I don't care. I don't have to have anything to do with you because I don't like being around you as a human. Done. I could have sucked it up. I could have learned from him. Fuck that shit. I'm genuinely lucky to have met Rickson, and Rickson has been nothing but kind, courteous, dignified, and a friend. He's a good man. Period. The first time that I met him physically was at a seminar, and I broke my spine. My spine was fucked. And I had no psoas. I had like all the muscle went away from my body. So I was just learning jiu-jitsu from like this complete deficit for a good chunk. So the first 10 years, like, oh, I'm fucking an animal. And then you're broken. You're like, can't be an animal anymore. Maybe I got to use techniques. So yay. I'm glad that worked out for me. I ended up staying after the seminar to talk to him. So I think the one thing that stood out the most, what was the original question? The original question was like, what's the big takeaway from Rickson?
Yeah. What did you learn?
This one moment. This one moment was the fact that he taught like a 3-hour seminar where he went from person to person, white belt to black belt, and gave them every possible ounce of energy until that job was done. And like Miss Cassia, the sweet Miss Cassia, is coming over and bringing him towels and water. Every fucking like half hour, he's out of a towel, he's out of water, he's out of a towel, he's out of water. He's giving his heart and his soul to these people. He's not just showing them a product and having them buy a t-shirt. He gave himself. He gave himself to the art. He really did. And then he gave that art to others by giving himself. At the end of that whole thing, he answered questions. People went around and so they started like, hey, can I get an autograph? Can I do this? Can I do that? And I waited politely to the bitter fucking end because I don't want to be the guy that takes away from that. If he's got to leave, he leaves. It's all good. Maybe next time. At the very end, he comes over to me because he saw me waiting the whole time. And he said, Jason said you have a question for me. He fucking remembered me. I sat over with him. It was just me and him. The whole place had cleared out except for maybe like 2 students. And one of them was kind enough to take a photo of me and Rickson while we were talking. I had no idea that they took the photo. I've got that shit framed in the pool room. That was like the moment that this guy gave all of himself to all these people, and then he stuck around to give a little bit more of what he had left just to me, to talk about my injuries and help me fix my body. That was it. No jiu-jitsu, no nothing. He broke his spine. He's got a lot of injuries, and we talked about the McKenzie method and some other shit, and he gave me some exercises. That meant a lot to me. That meant more than anything because he gave his time.
Would you consider that was one of the biggest pivots in your life?
Yeah, I would. I found, because his technique was always there, and I was always passionate about his technique because I'd always heard, you hear rumors on the wind, like, oh, it's Rickson. It's totally different. Trust me. I'm like, yeah, all right, totally different. Meanwhile, I'm like pulling my Anacostal out, trying to do fucking Eduardo Telesh moves. Not shitting on Eduardo. He's awesome. Can't say shit. Every time I open my mouth, I piss someone off. I hurt myself.
You noticed that too, huh?
Oh, God. Oh, no, I don't have any more friends. Oh, no, somebody in the community's mad at me. What I love the most is all those comments on Instagram. Oh, fuck. I don't want any trouble, Tiger. Like, Billy Badass is going to beat me up. Cool. It's retarded. You're yelling on the internet into a void, and you're probably a bot anyways. Doing all these moves that are hurting me, and then hearing that this mythical fucking Norse god of a man is amazing at fighting, and you'll never understand what it's like. And I'm like, no, I probably will never understand what it's like. And then I heard on the whispers on the wind, like, there's a guy who does Rickson's stuff. He's under Rickson's son. He's going to be out here teaching connection base. His name is Jason Roebig. So I went to a seminar, and I found actual jiu-jitsu. And I mean that when I say actual, so fuck you, internet. Actual jiu-jitsu is not a collection of fucking submissions. It's not a mad scramble for glory. It's learning how to make connection so that you don't have to be strong. That's what I mean by jiu-jitsu, gentle art. You can call it whatever you want. Again, this whole argument, I said it like 3 times already. I found the principles behind Rickson and Krohn's jiu-jitsu through Jason. And then from there, I was like, oh, this is what I have to learn. I got to find these instructors. So then I started looking around for instructors. Nobody was here. And Jason was just passing through. And I contacted a guy named Jack Taufer because I saw him on the internet doing Rickson stuff. And the second I sent the message, he responded. And then we've been friends ever since. He's fucking family now. I literally have his name tattooed on me. Like, he taught me everything he knew, every little lesson that he learned from Rickson, until I finally got my foot in the door of Rickson land. And Rickson was like, guess I'll put up with him. We'll see how this goes. And that's been going for like a decade, where like he looks at me and is like, I'll deal with this.
Yeah,
I still don't get it. I don't get it, man, because he's such a fucking cool guy, and I'm such a train wreck. Anyways, the coolest thing that ever happened to me was that moment where I found out that he was not an asshole. He really gave a shit, and he gave his time, and he helped me. And I feel it's my duty to do everything I can to be good by him. And that's just a me thing. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go and join a club and then like they sign you up, they sell you the gi. It's like, I owe my instructor everything. You don't owe him shit. You bought a gi, you're showing up. He owes you. He owes you the product that you just bought. As a man, I genuinely respect Rickson Gracie, and I feel I owe him a debt, and I feel I owe his family a debt for doing such a wonderful job refining an art that has disappeared, so much so that everyone says, don't do Gracie Jiu Jitsu. Just go do wrestling instead. Oh, it's way better. Did you know that most of the good stuff that I teach is from wrestling? Because we take the best of the best of the best and put it underneath that name. If it's shit, we get rid of it and we put the best part in. Yeah? So it's that missing piece there. Everybody thinks it's just, well, we're only going to do headlock escapes. Okay, well, fuck. That's you. Go have fun down the street, and when you're injured, come over here. I'll show you how to not get injured, and then I'll show you how to submit somebody. Long answer.
You just said a moment ago that you owe him a debt. You owe his family a debt. How
As
are
a
you
man, yes.
How are you planning?
How what?
How are you planning on paying that off? What's your?
Oh, by swearing on the internet. by conducting myself like a complete jackass.
Being yourself.
Well, you said it, not me. I think if you're not yourself, if you're disingenuous and you're just trying to sell a product, I don't want it. I don't want that product.
I feel like this whole conversation, as I'm listening to you, the personality, who you are, the genuine person is so much more important than a skill that you once carry, at least to you.
Like
Would that be
yeah.
accurate?
I think that's very accurate. If I had fallen in love with sailing and Captain Ron was my Rickson, I feel like I owe him a debt. You know, like I have my choice in retainer. I wasn't born into this. Like, honestly, when I say owe him a debt, I mean, like, I know what I am and I'm well aware of it. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. Because if my passion lied elsewhere, it would lie elsewhere. And if I met Rickson and he was that much of a gentleman to me and I didn't do jiu-jitsu, I would still respect that man. But I don't work with him. I don't literally work for Rickson at all. I don't represent the JJGF. I wish. I want to do work with them. I'm literally working now, kind of, sort of, trying to edge towards doing something really cool with women's self-defense. Eating an elephant. I don't necessarily work for him or do anything with him. I respect him and I wear his patch. And if one day he goes, hey man, you're an ass on the internet, you should probably take that patch off, I completely get it. But there's no version of me that's not going to be me, because that's not right to me. I'm going to be me, period. And if you don't like me, you don't have to like me. That's all good. I'll move on with my day. It doesn't mean I'm not going to respect that guy or what he's done. I've got guys that I fucking hate, but I still respect. You know, I've worked with guys that are like the fucking best at what they do, and I will never badmouth them. I've got my shit in here. I know you're a piece of shit. But if somebody asks me about you, no, he's really good at that one thing that he does. You should still be a fan. I know you're a piece of shit. No, I don't feel the need to diminish anybody to make myself feel bigger. It's not a goal. If somebody doesn't want me representing them, cool. That's all good, because I'm not technically representing them, because that's like a legal ramification thing. Like, no, I am the representative of this man. Nope. I'm just going to yell about what I love until somebody tells me to stop mentioning their name.
Fair enough. I think that's a fair and square approach.
I guess. We'll find out when somebody shoots me in Brazil. Wow. How did Chris get shot in the back of the head in the favelas?
So, listen, Chris, as we slowly wrapping this up,
yep.
What's the one thing that you feel that we all could do better with this jiu-jitsu craziness? I mean, your approach is very different. You have a message. There is a lot of passion behind everything that you talked about today. There's a lot of things that we could do better. There's a lot of things that we could change. We talked about being better instructors. We talked about simplicity and just taking a notch down from flying and inverting and doing all these things and just not taking it for granted for what jiu-jitsu truly is. And, you know, personality versus skill. Like, there's so many things that we touched on. But if there was one thing that you narrowed down that you wish the whole community, whole jiu-jitsu community, the both sides, all 7 sides, how many other sides there are, you know, we all could do better, what would it be?
I could give 3, but I'll give 1. And the 1
You
is
give 3. Give me 3.
Number 1 was the whole teaching. Learn how to teach better. Yeah. Number 3, I'll leave to last. The really important one for me is that jiu-jitsu is for everyone. If you can't do the move because you're smaller than that person, that's not jiu-jitsu. If you can't do that move because you're not flexible, because of this, because of that, because of this, because of that. When I say jiu-jitsu, I'm talking about the concept that holds the moves together. I'm not talking about a set of moves in a syllabus. If you can't do a kimura, that doesn't mean you can't do jiu-jitsu. And no one really catches on to that. Jiu-jitsu is for everyone. The moves aren't. If I teach you a body fold takedown and you're half that person's size, leverage and angle will take them down. Leverage and angle is jiu-jitsu. The body fold takedown is not jiu-jitsu. That's what you added to jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is base, connection, weight distribution, distance management, timing. These things are what create jiu-jitsu. Now, you could take pieces of those away. Like maybe I don't have to have timing because we slapped hands and we bumped fists, and I don't have to do a clinch because you're going to punch me. Jiu-jitsu is still there. And if you want to add Taraka Plata, if you want to add Imanari roll, if you want to add, what's another cool name? What did I show? Choi bar.
Spider guard.
Choi bar. Spider guard. Whatever. So, because I always say the funniest name that's in the back of my head, and I'm not shitting on the person because like the move is cool as shit. But do you have to do it? No. So those are just moves, and those are cool. But the concept behind jiu-jitsu is for everyone. Invisible power, weight distribution, control of the middle so that you have timing. That's important to me. So the one thing that we could all agree on is that if you can't teach it to a 12-year-old girl, if there's no weight distribution, you have to be an athlete, I don't want to refer to that as jiu-jitsu. Let's refer to that as a move. You could do really good moves. You want to give those moves a name? Do you want to call it, I don't know, what's the name? 200-page notebook, the Kode. He does Kode. Kode 200-page notebook. Fuck yeah, it's a bunch of moves. I do jiu-jitsu. That's the name that I'm giving it. Cool, that's what I call it. Right? Jiu-jitsu's for everyone, not just athletes.
What's number 3?
Cool. Oh, don't be a cunt. No, number 3 was specifically distance management. So that's one thing that it goes in cycles, and I'll make this quick. But you remember when barambolos were a huge thing, and Delahiva was a huge thing? You remember when the lapels?
Come on, you were doing barambola earlier today. I know you were.
Yeah, I literally did barambolas for years. Fucking shit, you're not. I was captain fucking open guard. I was doing Delahiva and deep half guard, all kinds of shit, man. I still use deep half guard sometimes. It's a thing. It's like a little pyramid underneath the guy. Anyways, I digress. Where was I? Yeah, distance management. Yeah, space management. Space management. So you've got these two people that are standing right now. If this guy's a really good striker, that's bad. Ow, that's bad, right? So if I'm too far, that's good. If I'm too close, that's way better. So you took 400 pounds and you made it 200, and then you made it, 60. Cool. What's better? 400, 60. Distance management. So now when you're doing this game of jiu-jitsu and the guy goes, boop, and starts butt scooting towards you to start doing leg locks. Fuck. You didn't manage the distance, did you? But if you both went, boop, you manage the distance to manage the damage. So it's a mirroring drill that we do for striking. If we start to concentrate on connection and distance management, you take away a lot of the submissions. And you're going to see that coming up. I guarantee it. I'll be a jiu-jitsu oracle for you. You saw people start to go no-gi and then start to butt scoot and then start to leg lock because there was a bunch of space that 50% of the body, nobody's paying attention to. Oh my God, we're going to get them. Then all of a sudden it became body lock passing. You remember when that happened? All of a sudden we're grabbing on the legs. Oh, you're not going to get those leg locks, boy. Wait a minute. We clinched? Did you say that instead of doing leg locks and then trying to out leg lock the leg locker, you started clinching? So instead of out striking the striker, you started clinching? It's this full fucking circle where eventually people are going to start doing jiu-jitsu again instead of the cool move right now. The cool move right now, I don't know what it is because I took my finger off of the pulse like 10 years ago. I got people that come in and show me kind of cool shoulder shit, like whatever, fucking won something last week. Do you teach that? Fuck no. I don't even know what it is. Fuck that shit. I'm going to show you how to do a hip escape. I'm going to show you how to stand up and base. I'm going to show you how to not get punched in the face. I feel like that is the one thing that separates the two is the striking. And that's the hardest to train because you're going to have Billy Badass trying to knock out grandma. Dude, you can't teach like that. So you got to be a better teacher, and we got to teach with context. And in the middle of that, jiu-jitsu should be for everyone, not just you who's off on football fucking practice. What do you call it when it's off season? You're off season. You got to fill the void with something.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. Hey, listen, this is why we are here, right? I mean, that's part of what we do.
To cause
right?
trouble? Yeah.
To cause trouble, right? To get online and just drop F-bombs and get attention. Well, listen, before we start wrapping this up, where can anybody find you? You have some cool things that you are working on. You know, let's drop some of these links. Let's talk about some of the things. You know, I saw the famous video with suitcase. There's a lot of wisdom in a suitcase. There's
I don't know what that is. Okay.
There's a lot of projects you have going on. So let's share some of these things because you are making a dent. You are making an impact. So for those who've been living under the rock or, I don't know, somewhere in a different planet, don't know who Chris Burns is, what's going on?
I made an impact. What's going on is that somebody else is filming me and then doing these things because I am not good at that. Interdependence is key. There is Sheila who films me for Instagram because she does jiu-jitsu socials, I think, and I'm going to give you the link because if somebody wanted to do Instagram, she knows how to do it. So she films people and then she puts it up. And I would love for her to get more work because this is what she's doing full time now because a bunch of people like me decided that we're going to do this with her. So that's a thing. So if you want to be a social media person and you don't want to spend your entire life filming yourself fixing a meal and then putting funny music on it and then posting it and you're like, I'm an influencer. I love the fact that when people talk shit about me and I look at their profile, they put themselves as influencer and they have 93 followers. They're just so mad. So like, it's not me. I don't know how to influence whatsoever. I don't know how to run social media. Sheila knows how to do it, and I'll give you a link. She's awesome. If you want somebody to do that shit for you, I would say swear and do a lot of dick jokes because it's going to work a lot better, but she'll help you. Now, the other thing is the BJJ project. That is Nathan and Will, and they came to me because of Sheila. So Sheila started filming me and then publishing me, and people were like, that guy's retarded. I'm going to listen to his stuff. And then somebody was like, hey, we could use him to get attention. And then they got my attention and said, we will do this, this, and this for you. The BJJ project was originally, I think, a platform for instructors around the world to present their stuff and sell it kind of like BJJ Fanatics, but not them. And then they were going to be my kind of agent that sends me private lessons and shit like that. But then they started filming me. What happened was they basically started doing what this thing's called a suitcase. I don't know how they sold it. It's very smart the way they did it. And they had me open a suitcase with a light in it, and I wasn't ready. The suitcase is like the bare minimum of what you need to know. This is them talking. I'm not a good salesman. They came up with this great idea. The suitcase is the bare fucking minimum of what you need when you go from academy to academy, because you are supposed to be a crayoch. You can take that suitcase with you and you'll be fine. All right. 6 black socks, 6 black pairs of pants, 6 black shirts, that kind of jam. They've now made a thing called the vault. So the suitcase goes into a vault, and the vault is like a deep dive of instructionals. So they've filmed a ton of shit with me, and this next year is me filming everything that I know, as simple as possible and as clear as possible. They also do some kind of weird quiz thing where you do a quiz and you find out where you suck the most, and they point you in that direction for instructors. I think there's other instructors as well. So again, I'm not a good salesman and it's not my products, but I'm the IP and they're putting me on display. So that's as much as I know. Other than that, I'm going to be working with the JJGF on the women's empowerment program because I think that's extremely important. And I'm going to be working on the JAB program for Joe Mendoza, Jiu-Jitsu Against Bullying. And that's a Team Rickson Gracie. So that's going to be like the kids foundation stuff. I'll be working on that this year. I care more about women's self-defense and kids' self-defense than I give a shit about the sport. I think my attention should go there this year. So keep an eye out for that, I guess.
Sounds like you're going to be really busy in 2025.
I'm always busy. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be doing something else stupid. I'd be sailing a boat with Captain Ron.
As always, thanks for hanging out with me. I mean,
It was
we've
my
had some
pleasure.
troubles coordinating the time. I mean, the
It's all right.
12-hour or 14-hour difference, whatever the hell with Australia is, it kind of killed the buzz here a couple times. But I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sharing the thoughts, your knowledge, your story. What a phenomenal conversation, and I truly hope that there's more people like you. I really do believe that we
That's a
need
lot of
more
stress,
individual.
man.
Well, you don't think so? You don't think we need more Chris's? We don't think
I stress
we don't
about
need more
me.
people that advocate for jiu-jitsu, for Gracie Jiu Jitsu, for self-defense, for women's self-defense? I mean, we need more people
Fine.
speaking out for it.
I'm just bad with compliments. Yes. I think we
Okay,
need more
fine.
idiots
Chris,
like me.
you suck. I mean, can you just
Thank you.
shut the fuck up finally? You talk too
Probably.
much.
Sound like one of my students.
Chris.
Supposed to respect the professor. How dare you?
Listen, I was trying. You pushed me.
No, I genuinely appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Thank you for giving a shit enough to talk to me. Before I go, I do think that Gracie Jiu Jitsu is still alive. And I think I'm going to give everything I got to preserving the art, refining the art, and spreading the art. I care about Gracie Jiu Jitsu. I don't care about sport Jiu Jitsu. Period. It's cool. Have fun. I'm going to be over here, over at this table. You be over there at your table. We can still be friends on the playground. Outside of that, sorry about me. I'll try to be less me. And thank you for the compliment. And yes, I think we probably do need more people advocating for it. That's it. I got nothing else. I think I ran out of gas.
Let's end on the high note. Let's end here.
That's the high note? The fart noise was the high note. Fuck yeah, I did a Leslie Nielsen for the ending. I'm happy.
Chris, I appreciate you being here. What a great conversation. We gotta you gotta let me know when you're in US, back in US. We gotta.
I'm there in a couple of weeks. Oh shit, there you go. I'll be there in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna do seminars across the year. Sorry, I'm not a salesman. Fuck, dude, I teach.
We gotta work on this. This whole conversation. How do we get better? Look at this.
Fuck. All right, the 0 Point Sydney is going to have my my schedule for seminars. I'm gonna land in LA, and I'm doing San Diego, LA, and a bunch of whatever's not burnt down. Holy shit!
No
the
kidding,
fuck
right?
happened there, dude? That's intense. I hope everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Friend of mine works in the fire department over there. It's brutal. I'm gonna be there. I'll be in LA in a couple weeks, and then I think Reno, Arizona, Arkansas, and some other places on my way to Florida to be with Rickson, because I got to get fixed. There's no version of this that's still correct. I got a lot of questions.
Good. Keep fixing it. Keep spreading it. Thanks for hanging out today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for dealing with me.
Thank you for listening to RŌL Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.